Asha.
Hey, you guys, it is Wednesday. It's Hump Day, April 2nd, 2025, and you are here with the hit list. We have a full house tonight. You know, we've had people on vacations and people out sick and yada, 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 but we are not all are here tonight, but most of us are here, so I'm excited, and we have a lot of hot topics to talk about tonight, a lot of controversial stuff to talk about. So I believe we're going to have a good show. Sorry about our tardiness. We've had some technical difficulties, but you know what they say in the theater, a bad dress rehearsal makes for a great opening night. So hopefully all of the problems we had before we went live will make for a great show. How is everyone doing?
Good. Awesome.
So happy to see everyone. We have Marcus back. Marcus was out last week.
Hola.
Vacation last week. Melanie was on vacation last week. Darius is here. You guys, we've been working on Darius, trying to get him over slowly but surely. Last week we we made a milestone, and he has actually joined our chat group. So he's a little closer. So he's not a guest anymore. He's a co-host. But he will be joining us when he's available.
Yes.
He's booked and busy.
We love you, Darius.
Thank you all. I feel so special. I feel all warm and cuddly inside.
So I know that a lot of you guys had lots of fun last weekend, this weekend. Before we get into this thing of the things, I want to make our copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So if you see something on here that you don't like, that is maybe yours or content that I got from somewhere and you didn't give me permission to use it, just email me. Don't sue me, because I don't have only money I have is to buy Balenciaga. I don't have any money for anything else. So let's get into the thing of the things. Tamar, down in Dallas, how was your weekend?
My weekend was really good. I've been really busy with photography. Like, oh my God, it's a blessing. Despite all the other things that's going on, like, life is good right now. The weather, yeah, I was on my way to a photo shoot there. I was like, let me stop and pose in a picture in the camera in the mirror real fast. I don't really do those. So.
Okay, top.
And I am and is my blouse, but you know what they say about the blouse.
Yes, honey. They fuck harder.
Okay.
But let me tell you, I've been working on my body, and I've been really really invested in working out, and it is a struggle, y'all. The gym is a struggle, but like I said, I've been meditating and just allowing God to use me on this platform. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from this platform, and it's been amazing. So I'm really grateful to be here, and I love you guys, and it's so good to see everybody.
Well, it looks like Marcus likes what he sees too, honey. Keep up the workout.
We love you too, Tamar. And
Absolutely.
You guys, since we have so many of us on tonight, we have to get through things. So when I jump to you, either for a comment or for whatever, try to wrap it up. Okay, so great, Tamar. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad to see your business is going well. And me and you have some stuff to talk about. We have some announcements to make soon about Tamar as well, but we will save that for another show. Shaq, down in ATL, what were you doing this weekend?
Oh, nice.
Obviously, in a wedding. My best friend is the stud in the photo. We are 21, 22 years in deep. So that's the big homie. And when I refer to us, I say we some old hoes because she's a year older than me. I'm 41, so we just now getting to the marriage table. Well, she's married. I'm hoping to follow in her footsteps somewhere here soon.
You will.
Yeah,
You
just
will.
one of the most amazing people I know, man. A very good person, and I was just happy to be there. I was eating everything in sight, having a good time, drinking a whole lot of wine. We had an Airbnb on the water down in Tallahassee, and it was great.
Ooh.
Oh, you was in Tallahassee?
You were in Tallahassee?
I was just there for wedding, guys. I did not announce. I did not make no waves.
What was the wedding at in Tallahassee?
Sunday. I had my son. It was a quick trip in Friday, out Sunday. So we didn't. I didn't have no time. It was wedding. It was it was very quick family stuff. But yeah, next trip though, because I am coming back, I will be calling folks. But
so, Chad, what was the wedding at in Tallahassee?
Well, it wasn't technically in Tallahassee. We were on Lake Talquin.
Oh, okay, Talquin.
Yeah. So we were in that area. So more Quincy, the country area, yeah, and Talquin. So yeah. But
Okay.
nice.
Well, nice.
Love is love.
Well, you were down
Love
in
is love.
Tallahassee. We're gonna stay right down there in Florida with Darius. He's also down in Florida, and Darius sent me some. He's always booked and busy. He's working on projects.
Always.
So he sent me some flyers. He has the Shades of Pride coming up with T.S. Madison. Darius, you want to tell us about that?
Oh, yes. Friday, May 2nd in St. Petersburg, we are having our annual Shades of Pride event, which is geared towards our Black and Brown LGBTQ community, but it's open to everybody. We have T.S. Madison and Craig the Ryder Stewart who are coming, and they are going to do Fag Talk. And what is great about this is this will be the first time they've ever done Fag Talk in Florida, and they're going to do it with us.
Congratulations.
Cool.
We have an amazing panel discussion, some performances. Tickets are really selling. That they are selling. Like I am
Yes.
very pleased.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
then what is this?
Also, that same month, later in the month, May 25th, we are hosting our annual Mix St. Pete Pride pageant. We have 3 divisions: Ms. and a binary category that we term Mix, MX. That is our current court. Amari Lavish, Kyla Santi, Vivian, and Justine. That's our current court. And also we have a very special guest judge who will be with us, who will also perform, and she is Giselle Barbie Royale.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Darius. Keep up the good work. I'm always proud of you. Always.
Amen. Yeah.
So yes. Moving on to Indianapolis. Brandy, you were not with us last week. You were on. I don't know if you want to explain to everybody what Angelversary is, but you were on a trip last week. You and Tamala went somewhere. You guys tell us what you did.
Yep, we went to celebrate Angelversary. It's just the anniversary of our loved ones passing. We call it Angelversary. So
Beautiful.
my best friend's mom had passed away the same day that my daughter passed away, but 2 years later.
Wow.
So I had already been doing Angelversary together and kind of made it like a tradition thing. So it's kind of like happy and sad at the same time.
Where'd you go?
We went to Canada this year. Quick trip, can't fly nowhere. So
yeah.
Well, we could have attempted to fly. I to. So we had just took a quick trip to Canada. Went up there for a couple days.
Awesome.
Visited some nice restaurants. We stayed at the Caesars.
Oh, nice.
Cute.
Nice. You look great. You look really great.
The skin is skinning.
Yes,
That's
Mom.
right there.
Yeah, Tamala.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yep, it was nice.
Like you said,
it's always really nice. It's like I said, it's kind of crappy that we have to do that, but it's nice that we have each other. So
yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, my Alexa to start talking to me out of the blue. So Marcus, going back down to Florida, you were not last week either, but where'd you go?
I went to Mexico, to Cancun. You know, I just needed some R&R and decided to hit the beach up in Cancun. And I was there for a week with the hubby. We had such a great time. The beaches were so clear. I mean, it was just so much great food. I had a ball. Anytime I travel anywhere, it's always a blessing, you know. So it was a great time.
Awesome. I'm glad you are feeling. What am I trying to say? I'm glad you are able to fly. I know I wouldn't be. My anxiety right now.
You know what? I didn't want to fly, but I figure if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die regardless. And if it's in a plane, at least let it be like a great news story.
All right. So
headliner.
This picture is next. But if you're in Chicago this weekend, Friday, April 4th, I told my friend I would do this for him. Virjan McCoy, he is. They're having their 13th anniversary of Virjan McCoy and Worship Experience. Special guest is going to be Vanessa Bell Armstrong. Virjan is the one in the center. He is the founder of Virjan McCoy and Worship Experience. I used to sing with them. Virjan was my first roommate when I moved here in Chicago.
Wow.
Very first roommate. And so he is he's a big deal in the gospel community. He's a producer and like choir director, and he has taught me a lot about music and choirs and all that stuff. So I told him I would give them a shout out. I'm going to be there. I can't wait. He told me, I said, is there anything you want me to tell the people? He said, come prepared to church. He said, we're going to church all night long and we're going to church hard. So if you're in the Chicago area this Friday and you don't have anything to do, come on by and come church with us. So this last weekend, I did a lot of stuff. My cousin Sheila came to town for the weekend, and my children, they came. So we had fun. We did some shopping downtown and did the touristy thing, like the museums and stuff like that. And then Saturday, I was invited to Louis Vuitton had they had an event. They were releasing the new, I don't know if you guys see everybody doing those bag charms on their bags. They had an event where they were releasing their new bag charms. So it was an influencer event. I was invited and got some charms, and it was fun to network and to shop a little bit. So that was cool. And then, I had a pretty uneventful weekend. Michael, I know you had an event in Detroit.
Yes. And actually, there's been several over the past couple of months, kind of wrapping up a really busy, jam-packed period, very successful. Had a lot of cool people come through, some really great DJs through some really great parties. Here we go.
How it used to be. We would stand up with dignity. I remember how we used to fly. I remember when we all got high. I remember the good times. I remember the good times. Bring back the good times.
That looked fun.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
send me that
So-
mix.
Right. So this is actually this is a Detroit-based artist. Techno No is the DJ's name. That's, the white guy with the hat they were zooming in on over and over again. And the vocalist is Rowetta, who is she's from Britain. She was on X Factor back in the day. Super cool. And they're on Idris Elba's record label. So it's like this weird, we get a very cool mix of folks that come through. You never know who you're going to meet at the terrarium. Maybe Idris Elba will be there one night. But suffice to say, we've been having a lot of fun lately.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Send me that mix.
Yeah, the mix is
Oh,
great.
yeah.
My whole
I low-key want to take
a little shoulder got
Right?
Baby, I was dancing like a white girl.
Right.
Okay, so you guys,
a couple margaritas, baby. It might go down.
You know it, Shaq.
let's get into the thing of the things. Our first story You know? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to share this. Kate told me to show this picture. Kate was at my house last week, and we
I love her.
we went to Whole Foods and just we got lots of junk food and watched a lot of movies and stuff and just vegged out. So Kate told me to tell everyone hello, and she'll be joining us soon.
We miss you, mamas.
Okay.
Kate just actually got a new condo, and she's moving in. So
Ooh, I know that's right. Condo life. I hope her HOA is okay.
yeah. She's going to be off for the next couple weeks moving in, but she'll be back as soon as she's done with moving is a chore. So
yeah, it's such a freaking feat.
let's get into the thing of the thing. So it looks like our money is our dollars are important to us, and it's working. Target faces foot traffic decline for the 8th week after cutting off DEI program. According to Forbes, Target has suffered nearly $1 billion loss after Black History Month boycotts and DEI rollbacks.
Damn.
You guys, everyone knows who knows me. Target, I've been having withdrawals. I've not been to Target in like 3 months. It's really hard, but it looks like it's paying off. So what do we think about this? Is this something?
Wow, I can't believe the boycott is actually working. Like, go us, go Black people, and go Latinos, and go everyone that's been affected by this. Yeah. I know in Florida at least in Fort Lauderdale, and I can see what you say, Darius, I have been like really effortlessly like going the other way from Target. Even at the mall, I want to walk in and I'm like, ugh. So it's hard, but it's a lot harder than I thought.
I don't know, guys. As a person who is often out and about children and just high strung in general, my experience being out is that very few places are actually as packed as they used to be. And that's not to say that the boycott isn't working. I absolutely think it's working, but I also think that in general, people are broke and or trying not to spend and or appalled at the prices everywhere. I actually had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she said I walked out of Walmart and I was disgusted at the prices, and I was thinking that that's about as cheap as you're gonna get. So,
right.
We are spending regardless of where we are going, and so when you think about it like that, in addition to the boycott working, I can see why the boycott will continue to work, because it is highly offensive to think that we were in Target paying Target prices and then they would treat us like this.
Yeah, everything's expensive. I saw $15 eggs yesterday, and I nearly about passed out right there in the aisle. But we need some stuff. We need we need eggs, so I had to pay it.
But that's it, And if you have to go, for instance, I have a friend who has a cat, and she can in her area she can only find her cat's food in Target, and I'm like, you got to go feed your cat. Well, I said just get your cat food and get out. And so I also think that's happening. Even if you have to go, the fervor that you used to have, it's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like we need to expand the boycott to other businesses. I feel like
that's what I was gonna say.
Boycott Walmart. They're the biggest retailer in the world.
Amazon.
But then where are we gonna shop?
TikTok. Go to Piggly Wiggly. We'll go to Stable. We'll go to Winn-Dixie. We'll go to Whole Foods.
They have roaches at the Winn-Dixie by my house.
But I do think particularly companies like that to me it's all about appreciation. They showed us Target showed us that they don't appreciate our business.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay, I'm gonna say something.
Walmart doesn't appreciate anybody's business.
They
don't even appreciate Walmart.
That is how they survive. They don't like nobody. They don't.
I'm gonna say something, and it needs to be said. We were out Sunday, me and Hector and our friend Malik in Taiwan. We went to brunch, and I said, "You guys, we need to, there's a new Black business that opened, a restaurant that opened around the corner from us." I said, "Let's go patronize them." And so we went. It was very unorganized. We stood in line. They said the wait was 40 minutes. I said, okay, 40 minutes is not long because there was other shops and stuff on the block we, could go shop at while we waited. So we put a name in, waited 40 minutes, went back, and they're like, it's going to be another 20 minutes. So we're like, okay, 20 minutes. The food was smelling good. It was packed in there. We're like, okay, it's worth waiting 20 minutes. Plus, we want to help patronize, a Black business. So then we waited 10 more minutes, and then they were like, well, the system is down and we're out of this, and they closed at 3, and by that time it was 2:30, and they're like, well, you guys can be seated, but we're not going to have everything. And I dare say this, but it seems like a lot of you have that issue with a lot of Black businesses. And it seems like they're inconsistent. Sometimes they have stuff, sometimes they open late, sometimes somebody doesn't show up and they don't open at all. You call, they don't answer the phone. Is that something that other people experience with Black businesses?
Yes.
Sometimes? And it's
I experience it with all small businesses, actually. I think
Okay,
it's
well,
much more indicative of small business. And I think what we run into often is that Black businesses are often small.
Right.
No.
And so
I'm with Shaq on this
it
one.
takes patience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
And
all.
too, I think too, just because you know how to cook does not mean that you
You need a
Can
restaurant.
run a restaurant.
that you
That's
that
true.
you know how to run a restaurant, that you
Right.
that you have good
I
customers.
agree with that.
And
There's so many different elements to running a restaurant. It's not just having someone in the back cooking and throwing plates on the table. You have to have a system, organization, host, hostess, bussers, bartenders. There's so many different elements, you know? And backing with Shaq, I do think it is a new business problem because they go in thinking that they got everything ready, and then all of a sudden one thing drops because they weren't prepared for everything. But that's just part of the new business blues, you know?
yeah,
But
but
hopefully they'll make it.
Learning process.
Yeah.
I
And
say
also-
all that.
small, not having access to a lot of employees, maybe
Mhm.
not being able to pay for the best servers. Another thing that you run into is with a lot of the smaller businesses, they don't have the industry connections, right? And you know, because there are experts in the field, they want free. They're not going to come and organize you for free. And then another thing I definitely think we should mention is that I think we have grown accustomed to being accommodated, right? And that is what big business does. There's a reason why Walmart has everything you need. There's a reason why when something breaks, you can just take it back to Walmart without question, because they are so large and they have a larger infrastructure and they can take the hit. And so, you know, when we get the small businesses, we don't get those conveniences anymore. And I think we're all very spoiled and we just no longer want to wait or to do things like that. But that is a sacrifice we will have to make in order to scale back from.
But it is also important for like Ashleigh to point that out for that business, because since they are new, they need to work on that right now. Because if you have a busy place and you're packed and the system suddenly fails 30 minutes before you're closing, that sounds like BS to me, and they just didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, and just they were just unorganized.
Yeah.
And then I asked to speak to the manager, and he kind of got an attitude and talked over me. And I was like, you know what? That's
not customer service.
It's
Piggybacking to what we just said, yeah, it's more elements than just cooking in the back and frying up a plate, you know?
Yeah, so Luella's in Lincoln Square.
Go ahead. A whole lot of attitude. And
yeah, I'm not going back.
In the negative. Like I was in the drive-through line at Zaxby's.
Mm-hmm.
I think this individual was a trans person. Miss Mama decided she wanted to get the attitude when I asked her a question. And then you know how they give you your food, but they don't ask you if you need ketchup or anything. They just give you your food and they turn away. So I intentionally just stood right there, put my car in park. She came and said, "Yes, can I help you?" I said, "Yes, I would like some ketchup, some extra napkins, please."
Period.
Sauce. And Miss Mama was giving me attitude, and I said, "Well, by the way, is your manager here?" Now, what Miss Mama didn't know is I know the hiring manager. So after she gave me all that attitude, I said, "Let me call. Hey, Don, how are you? Yeah, I just came to your drive-through line at your restaurant, and one of your employees was extremely rude and disrespectful to me. I understand that. I don't know, maybe she's new." But customer service is such a valuable commodity in the service industry. And I would be if you could coach this individual.
You are better than me, because I would have cursed her out at the drive-thru.
Oh, no, bitch, I know how to get you.
But you guys,
and I would have called the manager after.
You know what? Their customer service is a thing of the past, it seems.
Yes.
These
it
kids
doesn't exist.
They don't want to work. All they want to do is be influencers and rap and play video games. No one wants to work anymore. So it seems like when they are at work, they hate you for being there.
They have a chip on their shoulder for them wanting to work.
At work, all they want to do is play on their phones. We wasn't allowed to have.
But you know what? This generation didn't grow up with like having to work, having to clock in, and people like watching your hours and like making sure that you made this amount, and like if you didn't get your 40 hours you wouldn't get your commission or this or that. It's easy money. They think that they can all get on TikTok and do like the ding 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 and like get like, it's crazy. They have no like moral customer service. Like no one cares about just even saying hi, thank you, welcome, opening the door for a customer. Customer service is so dead.
It is.
Even at the drive-thru, sometimes you'll pull up and they won't even say nothing. They'll wait for you first.
Yeah.
Bitch, I don't work here. Hello.
Yes. And now at our Publix, they have a self-register where you can check out, bitch, I need a bag boy. I'm not doing this myself.
Yeah, my mom says that a lot. She's like, I didn't buy this.
I did not sign up for Publix. I'm not scanning this shit.
I don't like that. Because why I gotta work, go to work to make the money. Come to spend the money.
And I can't get the discount. I can't get the Publix discount, but I'm scanning.
In the house. Why am I working so hard?
Period. Is this my part time?
I'll take a stuff scan any day of the week. Any day. I used to be a cashier, so I've had enough public interaction to last me 3 lifetimes. So put me.
Oh, I thought because you were shoplifting.
No, I don't do that anymore. Not anymore.
Hey, Ashleigh, Marcus in the comments has a really good comment.
Where is it at?
The one who's talking about he's a high school counselor.
Ooh.
High school counselor, I'm trying to get these kids to understand soft skills is insane. They have their mindset. Yes.
Yep, you're so right, Marcus.
Most definitely.
Praying for you and those high school kids, because these high school kids are not the high school kids when we were high school.
No,
I'll tell you that.
That's bad.
Right, they're worse.
So before anyone takes it out of context and takes this clip and run with it, I'm not saying all black businesses are bad. I'm just saying if we're going to have to supplement going to, patronizing the smaller black businesses instead of going to Target, you guys need to get your stuff together, get your staff right, and just be up to par. So Luella's in Lincoln Square in Chicago. Let's get with the program. We'll be back to give you another chance.
Yeah, I might comment on that as we end that. I think that Darius really summed it up the best, which is customer service. I find that good customer service makes up for everything. When they when they acknowledge that they a mess and they are working on it, you immediately feel so much better. I think what happened to you was that you encountered a mess and then they treated you a mess. And see, that's
like it was your fault.
Right.
Messed up their order. You was late with their food.
Maybe they use reverse psychology on you.
Right.
Can you at least be nice?
Right.
Exactly.
If I go to a restaurant in your eggs, baby, and you gonna love it. I'm like, you right. I'll wait.
And if I go to a restaurant and you don't give me good customer service, I will write on your receipt that you need to do better, and you're getting 10%. Like you're going to get what you give me.
Your tip.
Right.
And as a former, I used to serve in college at PF Chang's, so I know what it is to like give good customer service because I was living off tips. Like I was literally paying for everything off tips. So I know how hard it is and the effort to put in. So when I don't receive that, when I go to restaurants, I'm like, damn. Like, but I'm so extra. I'm like, he didn't even bring water yet. Like, it's like I've seen him pass by. But it's because when I was a server, I stayed on top of everything. So I expect the same service. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just gone.
Y'all know Atlanta got built-in gratuity and service charges.
Because they get bad service anyways.
So Donnie McClurkin, a well-known pastor and gospel singer, has been this clip has resurfaced for some reason. This clip resurfaced with him talking about basically his issues with his problems, the way he's dealt with his homosexuality, and the homosexuality in the church and being I guess groomed in the church. I want to play this clip and then I'll jump to each of you and see what you think. Here we go.
And love me, lusting me. What am I doing? I'm taking the mask off. I'm taking the mask off. I'm taking the mask off. I'm telling the young people I'm coming clean. You want real? I'm real right now. You want real? I'm clear. I'm real. I'm transparent right now. You have no idea how many times I gave myself away trying to find myself. Just trying to feel love because my daddy didn't cover me. Just trying to feel love because I didn't have a man to show me what love was. And the only man that loved me lusted me when I was 8, and that's all I knew to look for. So playing the piano, speaking in tongues, but somebody seeing me on the piano and coming and saying, let me help you, only to make me twice the son of hell he was. You don't know what's going on with your kids. And you let your discernment go when you look at their friends and don't discern what's in them. Oh, that's just Johnny. That's just Sally. You don't understand what's going on right now. Katy Perry is turning the girls out. Talking about I kissed the girl and I liked it. You don't hear what I'm telling you. These young girls are just as bad as the boys in homosexuality, but you don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it. But today, hear me, every one of you young people. I've been there. But God said with loving kindness, not with condemnation, with loving kindness, y'all hear me? Not with guilt, with loving kindness have I drawn you. God said, I don't want your gift. I want your life. I don't want your talent. I want you. And I will heal every broken cycle. I will turn your life around. Trust me, I didn't start living until I turned 40. I didn't start living until I turned 40. Now I'm having the best time of my life because he's healed me. So my 50 is like 20 all over again. God's giving me back the years.
Darius, what do you think?
So I want to read a post that a friend of mine put on Facebook. And when I read it, it really kind of resonated with me. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily Donnie. The post says, Donnie has been openly struggling with his nature and church theology for decades, placing him in an internal purgatory state of mind. I followed him for decades as a minister and gospel artist, but I came to my senses that this cannot be life. Walking around constantly feeling and being told that you are possessed by a demonic spirit and need to be delivered. I honor the church, always will, but I'm so glad I got delivered from church doctrine. God knew who I would be, yet he still chose me as a vessel with gifts from on high, and he still loves me. Now, that resonated with me, and I understand that some people were taken advantage of in their youth, in their infancy. They were taken advantage of. There's even a scripture, I think it's Matthew 19:12, even though it's talking about eunuchs. Some were born this way. Some were made this way. Everybody, we are not a monolith. We're not all the same. How we, some of us were just born and we're hardwired to like the same sex. Some of us maybe have something very tragic to happen to us, and maybe it turned on a switch that maybe would not have been turned on otherwise. I don't know for certain. But what resonated with me the most about what I read was the part about church theology. And the reason why it resonated with me so personally is because somebody who grew up in a missionary Baptist church where they taught fire and brimstone and you was gay and going to hell, there was no forgiveness. So I'm like, well, why am I here? Why am I praying if I'm going to hell anyway? I might as well enjoy the ride. So I think I'm so grateful that I am in the place in life now where I know that there were some things that I was taught that I know that can't be God. That's just made theology.
Amen.
Okay.
Okay, Pastor Darius. I know that's right. That's beautiful. I know that was so real. I felt that. That was real.
Brandy, what do you mean? You grew up in Church of God in Christ.
I love that, Terry.
What do you think about this?
I don't think much about it. I think he's like a lot of other men that are in the church. So it's not nothing shocking or new or surprising. I'd love that.
I think when I first see stuff like this, I'm always just sad because trauma is a beast. right? And so, this man is obviously advanced in age, and he is still very much so talking about it, and it's such a key component of his testimony. And so you look at that and you go, man, trauma follows us and it stays with us. And so when I look at it from that perspective, I do not try to spend too much time agreeing or disagreeing, right? Because his hurt, his pain, that's his hurt and his pain. But what I do struggle with church folks is when their testimony then becomes like something that they're teaching to people, and then it has to be their way, and because of what they've been through, that means that everything else is wrong, right? Like, this happened to me, and you're wrong, and this is wrong, and we have, it's just like, see a therapist, see a therapist. And so I think Donnie's been talking about this 20 years now, and at this point I'm just like, what I said in the group chat, what I would love for Donnie to say is, I'm gay and I don't like it, I don't believe in it, I don't want it, and so I do everything in this church to keep from doing it because I don't want to like penis. I would respect that, because your life is a choice, and if you choose to ignore what you like and do something different because you don't believe in it, or you believe you're going to hell, cool. But this whole idea that everybody is demonic and possessed, I find
it's giving him.
He's better.
I want to make sure we don't misquote. I don't. Not everybody who preaches on homosexuality preaches as demonic and possessed.
Yeah.
So I just want
He
to put
did.
that out there. I don't want to make sure. I want to make sure we don't misquote anyone. But
Yeah, and I think I do believe in this whole free country, right? And people have a right to what they believe. You have a right to feel the way you feel, but I do not believe that you thrust it upon other people, right? And I do not believe that you say that your way is the only way. I just don't believe in that, and I really struggle. That is what keeps me away from the church per se. I always tell people that I believe in God and that I am spiritual, but I am not keen on religion, and it is for this reason.
Because people take religion and twist it and turn it and make it what they want to be.
There are just too many ways to skin a cat to say that there's only one way to do it. Like, come on, man.
I think the problem with a lot of us gay boys and girls of the church, we
praying against
we take whatever the preacher says as Bible, and none of us don't know the word for ourselves. I can't say that about me because I know the word. So a lot of us don't challenge that word sometimes. But you can't tell me that I'm going to hell because I suck dick, and you are buying stolen TVs from the booster that comes to your house after church on Sunday.
Hello.
A sin is a sin. Period.
Oh yeah.
Some sins are better than others, because if y'all know one, tell them come see me.
He's giving very hypocrite. Like, I feel like he is giving so hypocrite. He's up on that stage saying this, and this, but then as soon as he leaves the fucking church parking lot, he's all up on Grindr trying to get his dick sucked, and it's just giving hypocrite.
Marcus,
it's giving hypocrite.
Marcus,
it's giving hypocrite.
When we get offline tonight, but Donnie was allegedly spotted at a Pride event.
Of course he was. If someone that hates gays, someone that is so hateful and vengeful about gay people and this and that, dog, it's because they're suppressing their own gayness. He's clearly the only bottom that's like so hateful of himself that he wants everybody else to hate themselves too. It's giving hypocrite.
Hates himself. I think because of the doctrine of the church and what he was raised up in and taught in. And that doctrine is, if you grew up in that, it is so deeply rooted in you.
I can understand that. But it's like Shaq said, if he just came out and said, I'm gay,
I think
XYZ.
But for somebody like him, even to admit that
is a big deal,
It's a big deal.
So many,
I see that.
You would be able to influence so many other people. Have more followers.
Do you know how many people? Yes.
Maybe be able to bring the youth back in what the church claimed they won't.
Do you know how many people would feel so like just at ease and peaceful that this man who like is so high in like the religious totem pole, and he actually would admit that like he could change and save so many lives.
But you know what would happen to?
He would also be banned and like shunned by the black church
from the religious community.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's no bigger enemies than ourselves.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
When I seen that video, he looks so forced saying that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it felt like to me that he was stumbling over his words because he didn't even believe what he was saying.
Right.
And so for me, it is sad because this goes back to so many stories where you talk about Black culture. We pick and choose what is right. And in a lot of cultures, they don't do that. A lot of religions are religion, and a lot of people they follow that religion. But in Black culture, it's so sad that we pick and choose what is right and wrong.
Yes.
And in this
Yes.
moment,
I've never went to a white church and heard.
I never know. Like,
No, you're right.
You don't walk in and they talking about praying against the spirit of homosexuality. They agree with it or they don't, but
You're right, Ashley. That's so true. I've never actually been to a white church. It's like night and day. Wow.
I went to a church one time and it was like me and my four friends, we were sitting in a row and the preacher spotted us and he starts preaching about being gay. And I'm like, girl,
you know what they do?
you got over 20,000. You got 20,000 people in this whole church, and then all of a sudden you start talking about this one topic, and this was not the topic that you were talking about when, it's to me. But it's just
that's fucked
there
up.
There are a lot of kids in the church right now feeling the same way he was feeling, and when he said, "You don't know what your daughters are doing, you don't know what your sons are doing, you don't know in that moment." What can inspire someone to actually be comfortable in themselves by seeing you be comfortable in yourself? And also people can feel if you're being real, if you're being fake. And that to me was a whole fake speech.
You know what? I don't know if it was fake for him because, as I said earlier, if you grew up in this, it is deeply rooted in you.
Yeah,
these doctrines, and so it's kind of you're at war with yourself. You're at war
with
how you really feel, but you're at war with what you have been taught your whole life, and that is an internal back and forth struggle.
Yeah.
Even I was at a point in my life where I struggled. I felt guilty all the time.
Yeah,
and I wanted to go get some cakes, or or kielbasa. I used to feel internal struggle against that. I would debate that.
And I like what Ashley said. For me, I'm not a religious person. I'm very spiritual. I meditate. I my crystals, my sage, I burn my incense. But I have read the Bible, right? I've read the Bible for myself just to get ready because I'm the type of person I am. I'm the type of person, say what you mean what you say. If you're saying one thing, then you need to walk the way you're saying it. And there's a lot of people that don't walk what they preach or speak. So for me, I do look at that person as not a good person because you can't condemn me if you feel a certain way about me, but you're not doing what you're saying that I'm doing. It's just so I feel like that is so true. Like, you got to read for yourself to get clarity on what is for you, because there are things in the Bible that I can go to and be like, oh shit, let me not do this, because it is true. What you put out is what you get in, and faith is your faith. Whatever God is to you, that's the relationship you got to have. And I think that's what a lot of people in the church is missing. You have to have that faith for yourself, because God is like my best friend. I'm talking to God like,
mine too.
Girl, I'm having a day. I need you
That's
to show
my baby. I love you.
And I'm going to tell you, God will speak to you when you're in those moments of like vulnerability, when you're not trying to fake the phone. So I agree with what Ashley said. You got to read the Bible for yourself and really get a clarity on what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at the end of the day, wherever you believe in, if you believe your past, Donnie McClurkin's not going to be standing next to you when you stand before God to be judged.
Yeah. God is the one that's still reading your heart. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right. So,
period.
Before we move on, I know we got to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Melanie.
Everybody, God is not the same to everybody. I think, and I think there's this culture where they want God to be the same for everybody. God is not the same for everybody. And two, the Bible is a guide. It is a bunch of different books, philosophies, teachings that were put together by men. There are books that are not even included in the Bible. And it was on purpose that they were not. So the Bible is a guide.
Yes,
It
yes,
is not the end all be all.
yes.
And God, and Jesus is not a white man. He's not white.
He wasn't.
He was not white.
He was my color.
He was
my color.
He was
He
our
was my
color.
color.
What do you mean?
All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to our next. We have so much to get through.
We love you, God.
A transgender woman was arrested after she tried to use a women's restroom at a Florida State Capitol building last month. The Tampa Bay
Florida
report the incident could prove to be the first arrest under the state's laws that ban transgender folks from using the restroom and other facilities that align with gender identity. Marcy Raitgen, I want to say 20, a resident of Illinois, was taken into custody by Capitol Police and charged with trespassing after she tried to use a woman's restroom at the state Capitol building. Hoping to use the act of a symbolic protest, the transgender college student notified police and politicians in advance about the act.
Dumbass.
Sent a picture of her photo identification, identified the specific restroom she intended to use. In quotes, I know that you know in your heart that this law is wrong and unjust, she said in a letter. I know that you know in your heart that transgender people are human too, and you can't arrest us. You can't arrest us away.
Florida, we just had elections yesterday. Darius, did you see how every single fucking we're Republican to the core right now. Like it is so red here that like you can't do nothing here right now. So for her to even try that stunt, I don't know what she was thinking. Florida is not that state right now.
It was very much this is very much planned. She meant to do this.
She planned it.
They meant
I know she shouldn't have planned it. She knew where the fuck she was doing it.
Good for her.
Now
I want to ask Michael.
The problem is, girl, you live in Illinois.
Exactly. Wrong state, honey.
Now you causing problems for the trans men and women that live here in Florida. Like we don't
exactly.
And I just included myself because I be trans sometimes when I feel it. But you cause their problems for the trans people that live here. Now, they
have enough problems here. Trust me.
Demonstrate in Illinois where you from.
Thank you. That's my qualm.
I want to ask Michael: is it legal? So this is illegal now in Florida.
Yeah, they passed a law that outlaws this. And I think again, it's a tough thing to enforce, right? There are a lot of laws in the books that really just don't get violations. In most instances, you probably would not be able to tell if the trans person was using the bathroom you didn't want them to use. But as everyone's pointed out, this is a person who made sure pretty much everyone in the entire state knew that she was going to be trying this maneuver. And so this was the result that she wanted to get. I think if you look at it with optimism, it's to bring attention to this on a national level. And if you look at it with a bit of skepticism, it is some attention-seeking behavior.
So I'm glad you said that, Michael. I'm glad you said that because, and don't at me, this is my opinion. It's not everyone on this panel's opinion, but this is my opinion. Sometimes us in the LGBTQ plus community, we like to push the envelope just because and to make a scene. And I don't really think
that's what she was doing. She knew she was going to get arrested. She did this for nothing. Like there was no cultural impact. We already knew she was going to get arrested. This law, everyone knows because Florida's the first one that put it into effect. She was doing this, like Michael said, for fucking attention. Like, I'm sorry. She didn't gain anything from this.
Unfortunately, that takes us back.
Yes.
We don't optimistically, guys. Listen, as people here, we are people of color, right? And so what we often see is people of color on the front lines. I am supportive of hueless people taking stands. This could have been done better. She didn't. I don't know. But I think it's a good thing to see them fighting back and them doing things. And I think this is something that can be learned from. But I would like to see more hueless people. I say hueless people right now. I would like to see more hueless people doing things. Now, are they any good at it? No. Hopefully they're going to be better at it and to make more impactful statements. And in time, I hope to see that. But I choose to look at the good side, which is that these people need to be out there protesting. This is their future. You know, they
Right. You got to start somewhere.
So
And
you know, did she do a good job? No, but so they need to be out there.
See,
Young
my
people
thing
need to be
is,
out
most
there.
of the trans women that I know, they try, especially the black trans women, they try very hard to blend in. They try very hard to stick out, not to cause a scene. There are some trans women that I know that don't even like to go out during the daytime. It's a concerted effort about where they go, when they go. I know trans women that have been using the restroom since the Reagan administration. It ain't never been clogged.
Right.
Now I do understand the symbolism behind it, but I say again, girl, you in Illinois, you live in Illinois, so you're gonna take your little tail back to Illinois
and use the bathroom everywhere you want because there's no law there.
Yeah, and we kind of have a liberal bubble here.
I'm gonna say this and no,
they need
no
to learn
tea,
how to
no
do
shade, no read. Like this is what I'm gonna say. She fucked around and found out.
Yes.
You are not exempt because you are not my color. Like you are a part of this community. So at the end of the day, they're not looking at that anymore. They're looking at us as a whole, and you just made us look very dumbfounded.
Young people need to protest, and
Yeah,
they
and
have to figure it out. They're gonna have to put down TikTok and figure it out. Give them some time. But I love to see them little white kids out there protesting. It's their turn. They need to take some of this on. This is their future.
And it's like
we can't do everything.
It was to me, it was very selfish because you're supposed to be a staple for what you have transformed into, and you're a new person and you are walking this path. And basically you as a gay man, I'm never gonna put myself in a situation that's going to hinder other people. Like in the times we're in right now, I gotta also remember that everything I do, that I can affect those around me. So with her doing that, it just made the trans whole situation even worse because that's the number one thing that's going on right now. There's nothing else that they're talking about. That is the number one thing that they're focusing on. So guess what? This just gave them more ammunition. Put the guns out and just
they don't need ammo. The shots are fired. It's already up. I don't think hiding or not hiding makes a difference.
And you know what? Some of the trans girls I know, you want them to go in the men's restroom. Guess what? They don't. Some of them I know they really don't mind because guess what? While they in there, they talking to your baby daddy. Going in the bathroom. Why he in there so long?
I believe that.
Well, let's talk about, since we're on the subject of transgenders, not everyone is doing it wrong, and not everyone is. Some of them are getting the right publicity. Our friend of the show, T.S. Madison, and RuPaul's Drag Race judge and activist, just opened up. She took her house that her first house that she purchased, and she's making it. Darius, let's watch the clip and then we'll talk about what she's doing.
Metro Atlanta pausing today to celebrate the lives and contributions of transgender people on Transgender Day of Visibility. Community leaders and advocates marking the day with the grand opening of the T.S. Madison Starter House. It is a new reentry home for formerly incarcerated transgender women. The new facility acts as a safe space for women returning to the community. The project is a first of its kind collaboration between T.S. Madison, reality TV personality, and Nassim Incorporated, a historic organization dedicated to the health and well-being of Black LGBTQ.
Now that's
awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I hope she opens more like in other states that like have like a lot of trans people as well, because they definitely need that help and they don't get the help that they deserve. That is beautiful. That's what's up.
And from what I understand, I was watching some of the lives and stuff. It's going to be like a no judgment zone. So they're they said they're bringing transgender women who have been incarcerated and who have had resort to sex work and
so
cool, et cetera, and try to give them a safe place to be and help them guide them and shape.
Can you imagine the waiting list to get up in there? Oh man!
Yeah, because this is actually a partnership with T.S. Madison and Nason. This is something that has been in the works. I did talk to her about this, and I'm so excited about what she's doing with that. And in fact, it's not just giving them a safe place to lay their heads, but it's also providing them the services, education, training, whatever they need. You know, if you got entrepreneurial aspirations, you know, giving you the tools and the resources to do that. You know, so it's a great opportunity.
It's like Job Corps, but for trans people, for trans women.
Exactly. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Darius, please,
And that house is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what breaks my heart though? There were a few times in that video when they said first.
Yeah.
Why? You know, it is. I never cease to be amazed by how many first people of color are getting still to this day. Wow, the first.
But at least at least we're finally getting a first, though. You know, that's awesome. But it sucks. Yeah.
For the work, but
you're right. It shouldn't be the first.
Well,
not in 2025.
No.
Well, everything has its moment, and everything has its time to shine. And I want to say, as someone who does support the trans community, with someone being the first, Marsha P. Johnson was a trans woman that threw the brick at Stonewall. And without that movement, it took a long time for things to blossom, but things have to blossom the way it's supposed to. I'm so freaking proud of T.S. Madison, because you got to think about the story of T.S. Madison and the struggle and the come up of T.S. Madison. Like I remember T.S. Madison from T.S. Madison, honey. And now look at T.S. Madison. So come up of T.S. Madison. You can never tell me that it's not possible for somebody to overcome and become more. You know, so just she's on fucking RuPaul Drag Race being a judge, and now she's
a
doing
judge, honey.
Yeah, God has placed
T.S.
Madison in this place to become the advocate that we need in this moment.
Yeah. Darius, please when you see her, please tell her how proud of her we are.
I sure will.
Yeah.
We love her. Keep up the great work. And bring one to South Florida, because I know they need it here too.
Moving on. Housewives of Atlanta, Sunday. So we're on, I think, episode 3. And we're really starting to get into the scandal of the season between sorry you guys, Kenya Moore and newcomer Britt Eady. I think the next couple episodes are going to be like to be continued. But we did see
cliffhangers.
We saw the first of the reason why Kenya was supposedly suspended this season, and unless some things were, a lot of things must have been cut out, or it's not making sense, because
she should have been cut out.
It seemed the way that it looked on film did not match the severity of her being suspended. Let's watch, and we'll talk about it after the clip.
Oh my God. Hold me for a second.
All right. No, we're not done. We're not done. We're still catching this moment. Okay, because it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Hold on. Let me find my husband first. You want to compliment things on
I have so many things though. This is a lot.
I still got my pistol, so I'm still nervous.
Girl, Kenny's here. We ain't worried. Okay, can I put this in my car? What are we doing? I don't know. I was almost. I knew I should have just read it. Okay, thank you. You ready? Yeah. I just want to put this down.
I'm comfortable with you. Somebody find my husband. Where you at, baby?
Can I put mine here? I don't think my car is here.
You know? Okay, well, you want to get in?
Yeah.
Okay, baby, I'm ready. I had to let that bitch know. Don't play with me, bitch. She's good. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Everything's good. Kenya, hello, ditzy ass. Like, bitch, play that shit in front of the cameras. Don't play that with me. I don't play them games.
Black girl magic?
I don't play them games. I got whip, pistols, everything. Play that shit in front of them cameras. Don't play that with me. They need to come take this shit off. I'm not playing with her. Do all that fake Hollywood shit. No, this is real life. This is real life. This is real life. I don't play them type of games. You're going to be respectful. No peasants. You're going to be respectful around here. And if you don't know, you're going to learn today. Today is the day you're going to learn. No, these bitches, I don't play these games. Kenya, you riding with us?
Oh, you going now?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'll sit in the back. You can drive me. I'm Miss Daisy.
I got you, honey. She just one of those type of people where she wants to keep poking and being dismissive, being manipulative.
Where you got thongs back here?
Where you see a thong?
Look.
Thong. Yeah, she said thongs. Nah, don't act like I got some hoochie mama dirty thongs right there.
She talking about guns. For real?
That gun.
She was talking about I still got my pistol on me. This girl is a problem. She gotta go. She gotta go. For real, for real. She got the hype. So I'm gonna go. Please let her do something to me so she can go. Charles Oakley is here.
So
was this Love and Hip Hop or Housewives? Because the way that all played out, that was so ghetto for Housewives. I am not feeling her at all.
The Housewives are giving Love and Hip Hop.
I'm listening to context. Like, what happened that it got to that point?
Okay,
they were arguing.
They were at a table, and you know, this girl has been wanting some of Kenya since the very first episode. But they're at a table, and Kenya came in, greeted everybody, and she gave her a little pat. You know, when you're not trying to get makeup on someone. And Britt was like, "Oh, you're just gonna give me a pat? That was just a pat." And she was like, "I didn't want to get makeup on you." We all know Kenya at this point. When she's being shady, we know when she's being shady.
Yeah.
Kenya truly was not being shady, and she said, "You know, I didn't want to get makeup on you." And then, you know, they were playing around
a table of questions.
Yeah,
they wrote questions on a card.
Someone wrote questions on a card and said, "You know, Kenya, can you talk to Brittany without being, you know, mean to her?" And Kenya
But
said,
you have to remember to put this. Brittany is the one that actually had the card, and the card stated, Kenya, is there any way that you can speak to Brittany nicely? And then Kenya went and said, "I can speak to the entire group nicely. That's not a problem." Kenya answered it, and then Brittany, who was sitting right next to Kenya, kept poking her and saying, no, it didn't say everybody, it says Brittany. And like, you know, she started very much like trying to have a moment and trying to stir shit up, and Kenya was very like, no, I can talk to everybody.
It seems like she's trying to have a moment. And you guys know I'm always team villain. Like, I'm always there for a good villain, but I'm there when it's warranted to be a villain. And it doesn't seem like Kenya and I'm not a Kenya fan at all. But it didn't seem like Kenya did anything
at all.
So now, so
why did she get kicked off the show though? She wasn't talking about piss. Well, I know she showed like the naked picture of her sucking DICK like on one of like the next episode that's about to come up.
Next episode.
Michael, legally, if Kenya were to say, so from what I hear from some of the producers, what the producers are saying is they did an investigation, and Kenya said if they were going to fire her, she was going to sue the network. And it seems like they're not going to fire her now. Is this, does she have a case against Britt? Because Britt never said, "I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to use this gun." She just said, she alluded to, "I have pistols," and, you know.
Yeah, so in most states, what Britt did would qualify as an assault, right? It's the threat of imminent bodily harm. And if it's me walking out of a restaurant with someone who I perceived kind of went a little bit left, and then they start to talk about their gun and pistol whipping, I would probably do exactly what Kenya did. To me, it seemed very uncomfortable. It's almost like everyone knew they need to get her in a car and they needed to drive off. Like, in what world does the Real Housewives, would they ride in the back seat of somebody else? You know, they all have their own cars. They go their separate ways. So everything that you showed, you know, I think Kenya's going to be vindicated here. I have a little bit of distaste, though, that this wasn't something that didn't have a repercussion for Britt. You know, that they kind of let it get to this point.
Yeah.
Hype it up before the season even started. It's a heavy issue, and it's not something that should have been made light of. You know, that's a workplace for these ladies at the end of the day. And that was a threat of violence in the workplace. And that's never, you know, kind of funny, and it's not really entertaining either.
Right. So Britt Eady posted this. This was, I guess, a couple nights after they filmed this scene. So it would have been in the summertime, last summer. She says, "It's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed by someone. I thought I would embrace me. I thought would embrace me into a new circle that I never met. For the record, I've never once had possession of any weapons or threatened anyone ever. I've never been to jail in a fight or even had much as a speeding ticket. That's not in my character. I am hurt by the narrative that's being displayed. Wrong is wrong. So
well, that's a lie.
So that was, she tweeted that
before it aired.
The episode, and now it looks like she has egg on her face because we all heard it loud and clear. And it wasn't like it was edited. We saw her saying it in real time.
Over and over again.
Right.
Well, okay, so for me, I'm going to just, I don't like Kenya Moore. I stopped liking her when she had that scepter and that bullhorn in Portia's face, and she should have took her ass to jail when she was doing all that. So I feel like,
well, no, Portia deserved it.
No.
Portia,
she don't deserve nobody put no scepter and no bullhorn. That was disrespectful. So I think she's getting back what she took. So if that's the case, Kenya needs to go to jail. Because at the same time, you had weapons in your hands and you was putting it in her face on stage. So for me, I feel bad that I like Britt Eddie, but I think this situation was too much. Like, you shouldn't be saying that you have weapons and you're going to do this and you got all this, but also at the same time, as we see, we don't really know everything that goes on behind the scenes. We only see what goes on in front of the cameras. And it seems like there's more to the story, but we're only getting what they've edited.
Right.
But when you start bringing up guns and start bringing up weapons, it really doesn't matter what was said or what happened. Especially
but
when
I
you're
agree
talking
with
about
that.
reality TV.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, Kenya, she does.
Yeah, but
to people, she does.
But a scepter and a gun, two different things. A scepter waving around in someone's face and a bullhorn is different than saying I have a pistol. But it's different than saying I have a pistol and I don't play that shit and I'm from the fucking streets.
Yeah.
What if she would have hit?
It's completely night and day, baby. It's completely night and day.
But no, it's not. It's the same.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
To bring up the whole situation she had with Portia with this situation that's with Britt.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Britt has.
It's not irrelevant. It's not.
Oh, it's totally irrelevant. They're two different people.
They're two different people, two different situations.
Relevant, but at the same time, it's the same thing. When you have.
On the contrary, wait a minute. But let me tell you something. Let's give a little background here. When she did that to Portia, it was on the couch in a reunion. Portia was talking shit about how she wasn't fertile or able to have a baby. They were going back and forth. Let's start with there. Number two, she had a scepter and a bullhorn. So let's go to that scenario. Now with Edie and with Britt and Portia in this one here, they were at a dinner table, not fighting each other. She just asked her a question and she kept poking this woman. Like Kenya was like the victim here. Like she didn't do anything in this scenario.
I don't believe it. I don't like Kenya Moore. I think she.
Well, that's why you don't believe it because you don't like her. So you already have a preconceived.
I don't, and that's the thing. Kenya has had great moments on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not going to sit there and not give her that. She has had great. She's a great.
Yeah, but you don't like her, so you're always going to go against her.
Oh, well, I don't like Kenya either. I don't like her either. But
I'm not saying you. I'm saying Tamar.
I'm just saying I'm not able to see both in the situation.
But I'm not going to do that because this is the thing.
So
I don't think it's
I'm not
fair.
a Kenya Moore fan per se, but I do recognize that you need a girl on the show that gets the mess going.
You need her,
and that is Kim. And that's not Kim, but that's
we don't need
Kenya.
But I will say in this situation, I don't feel Kenya did anything wrong. I feel
Thank you.
Some of these new girls are trying way too.
They're trying way too. They came in hot. They're fans of the show. You already can tell that they had a preconceived notion of like, if I fuck with Kenya, I'm gonna get some more airtime. If I'm friends with Portia, I'm gonna get more airtime. These girls aren't.
They come for the top girl on the show.
But that's the thing.
Exactly.
Everybody can't be me.
Yep. Like the producers are poking them and telling them to do this. This is something that they've all said. But I mean, I do feel Kenya needs to be back. Like looking at this scene, I'm really upset that this is the scene that got Kenya kicked off.
Yeah. I want to see more. It's not the scene that got her kicked off. It's the prelude.
It's technically the next episode. That's
at Kenya's salon opening is when it happens.
She had a blown up picture of Britt in a sexual act. But you know it's bad when people are like, you know what? I don't even like Kenya, but like,
exactly.
I I have seen nothing but people like, I don't like her, but no.
Yeah.
No. And this is with us having the knowledge of what she did to retaliate. So, I mean, I'm not a big Kenya fan. She's kind of grown on me the last few years, but we can all see that Britt was gunning literally and figuratively for Kenya. She should have been fired immediately.
But
Kenya maybe could have had a suspension, maybe.
Yeah, a couple episode suspension, but not fired completely.
Not fired and not wiped from the rest of the season.
Exactly.
Rich should have been fired. Kenya, Bravo has made a lot of money off of Kenya.
A lot.
So we can't sit here and say that Kenya is dispensable at this point because she's not. Britt is like a Walmart great value brand of Nicki Minaj.
No,
she has got the way she talks, the way
but can we just talk about how Bravo has no loyalty for these black women? Like, why does Bravo is quick to fire any of these black housewives, but these white housewives can fucking like go to jail for 6 years and like embezzle money and steal things, and they're just get another season. It just makes no sense to me.
That has yet to be, that remains to be seen because Karen's in jail right now. I think Karen is going to.
No, but Karen didn't get fired. Karen left the show because she was too embarrassed to come back for that storyline.
No,
Karen did not get fired. She didn't go to the reunion, but she didn't get fired.
I think that she's going to end up getting an offer, but that's.
I don't think so. I bet. I hope she doesn't get fired.
I don't think she is.
You guys, like you were saying, Kenya is making $90,000 per episode, and the newbies contract they're only making like $9,000 per episode.
I thought it was like 20.
I think they're looking for a reason to like they want to free up that money, so they're looking for a reason.
Wow.
Some of these OGs to get them out of the door. So I don't think Kenya. I don't think we've seen the last of her.
No.
I would be surprised if Britt got invited back next season.
Do you guys think Kenya will be invited to the reunion?
This is why I like.
Will be.
I think so too.
I think
after all this backlash,
I think Britt is going to come back. Baby, she coming. But this is the thing.
Well, at least they talking about the show, y'all.
Britt to me reminds me of how she reminds me of a hotter. Like version of Kenya Moore. When Kenya Moore first came into the show, Kenya was like something like
she came in hard. Yeah, they both came in hot. I agree.
Doing the same thing. So this is the revolving door. We're getting another
Yeah, but Kenya did it differently. Like they both came in really hot, but Kenya did it respectfully. Like Britt is just like throwing low blows like off rip.
When you start bringing up guns, you gotta go.
But I think they're gonna bring. But this is the thing: Britt is gonna come back. You want to know why? Because she's drama, and this show needs drama right now.
I don't think they want that kind of drama, though.
Britt is the liability.
She's too much of a she's too much of a firecracker.
She's a liability. She escalated this with guns.
Very quick.
If something were to actually happen to Kenya Moore.
She would,
she would be a number one suspect at this point, even if she had absolutely nothing to do with it, because she was on camera.
She said on TV
her with guns. She said this on TV. Britt is a liability. If they wasn't nobody rooting for her dumb ass, she's gotta go.
I'm gonna tell you when she first
gotta go.
No, after this, before this scene happened, I thought Britt Edie was going to be a good.
You know what? I'm with Tamar on this one. I thought she had everything. She's got a great, but she just totally went left out of nowhere with this episode.
What did y'all see in her? Because I saw
I loved her.
Nothing.
I thought she was so cute, so sweet. She's fabulous. She's got money. She's got style. She's got a man. She's an actual housewife.
And she can be
let's
molded.
wrap this up because we gotta get to the next big story. And
we love you, Kenya. Stay safe.
Talking about this story again next week because what happens next week on
the new episode?
Yeah. So let's move on.
Here we go.
Here's another pastor and gospel artist Marvin Sapp is in the news for a clip that this clip is an old clip too. This was recorded back in August, but you know how the internet is. It's never
delayed.
So let's watch this and then we'll talk about it.
Love that picture.
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife Melinda P. Sapp was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws.
Now, why she gotta be?
I wasn't cheap. That's swag. I was looking in her eyes. She's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you. Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket.
Okay. So I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this, and I don't want everyone going. Please don't yell at me and try to everyone speak at the same time. But I do want us all to get what we think across here. I'll start. Me and Brandy were talking. I'm so mad Brandy's not here anymore, because we were talking about this the other day. And Brandy asked me what I thought about it. And I said, Brandy, we both grew up. We grew up in the same Church of God in Christ. This is nothing new. Yeah. I hate that now that the churches are online and they're going live, that they're having to explain stuff that they've been doing for the last 200 years. Churches, especially the Black church, have always made it, offering is known as, it's a big thing. It's a worship for us. It's also a time of reverence. And it's also, he could have been a lot softer when he said close the doors, but there were a lot of people in that building. And when money is moving like that, the room has to be secured. So everything he said and everything he did in that video, I stand with him. Yeah. It's something our church, we've been doing forever. It's nothing new. And I don't think we should have to explain ourselves as the church for something that's been going on forever. And we've done, and no one's found anything wrong with it until the public, the internet, see it now. Darius, you also come from the Black church. What do you feel about this?
So I have a couple of thoughts on this. One, this was a year ago. This was at a convention, a national convention. This was not a typical church service. This was at a national convention. I too grew up in the culture where offering was considered a form of worship, but it was a little different now for me, because during offering, that's when we would go to the bathroom too, go get a drink of water. We had the deacon standing up there by the 4 or 5 deacons standing up there by the offering plate. The ushers, this side stand and come down from the rear, Right. So it's a little different experience. But some of us who grew up in church, especially the Black church, understand that. But nobody was physically prevented from leaving leaving out of the worship hall. Right. Nobody was physically prevented from leaving. There's not one person that has come forward and said that. Mm-hmm. Now, because of our training, people might have felt like you holding us against our will. And because some of us, we still get tense when they start talking about money. Oh, look, Pastor.
Right.
I got bills.
Right. and that's the thing. If you don't have it, you don't have it. No one's gonna shoot you or kill you. You know, you just don't have it that week. There's been many weekends I didn't have to give in the offering, so I don't give. You know, it is what it is. I'd like to hear Michael's perspective on this. Michael, what do you think about this whole?
Honestly, I really liked it. I also want to start walking around and just telling people to give me money. And if I think they have more money to give, I want them to give me more money. It's really a good business model. And I think it would work. Listen, there's not a lot of distance sometimes between attorney and preacher, apparently, because I too spend a lot of time trying to collect on what's owed. Hey, I get it.
Okay. Marcus.
Oh, okay.
You know, growing up with my grandmother, going to church with them when I was a kid as well, you know, this is something that's very common as well. The thing that I think sparked the outrage is people on the internet that never have gone to a black church service. This is the first time that they're seeing this. And B, I mean, he could have said it a little softer because, again, they're not used to, like, the passion and, like, the way that the preacher talks. Is like, if an outsider looks at this, they're looking at it like this guy's like, hey, close the doors. If you don't come up and put the money in the basket right now, oh, and you behind me, no, you got to give me $100. Someone from the outside world is going to look at it like, damn, this motherfucker just trying to take money from them. So I understand the outrage because they've never seen it before. But us, we've grown in the church. We've been to black churches. This is nothing new. So it's just the internet caught something and people never knew it. But
Marcus, to add to your point, we know at black church, it's a lot of theatrics.
Yeah, it's all about that. That's our passion. That's how we express ourselves.
You know, and it's a lot of theatrics.
Yeah.
A lot of our preachers and that's how they talk.
That's how they talk. So someone from the outside world that's not used to that, they're not used to being talked to like that, and then add the money to the component. Yeah, they're gonna think that the person's trying to scam them. So it's just the misguidance of like the whole thing.
I almost bet it was somebody who has been to church and just didn't like it.
Exactly. You know, there's always a hater, especially in the church. You know what I mean? So the optics looked really bad from the outside, but we all know that it wasn't anything. It wasn't harmless, or he wasn't scamming, because that's not how it is.
Sometimes you got to be careful not to keep giving it life, because when he went on Ricky Smiley and did that interview, I guaranteed if he hadn't went on Ricky Smiley, and
he would have put more fire under it. Correct.
It's over by now. Nobody was talking about it, but he gave it life.
I have never enjoyed the church shakedown. That's what I call tithe. I call it a shakedown. I don't like it. But see, now if I go to church and I sit in and then I know I go get me a chicken plate, I put some money in the offering. I take me a little $20, $25 to put it in the offering. So I'm okay with that. But all the funds and everything, I've always felt like it was a shakedown. And I personally don't care for it and don't believe in tithing. And half the people in my family have just been appalled, and they can remain appalled. My tithing is when they call me up and ask me for $20 and they get it. So no, I'm not giving it to your church. But with that being said, as someone who does not participate, don't believe in it, and think it's a shakedown, I also didn't really freak out when I saw it, because I was like, it just sounded like our church being our church.
Well, let me read this comment. This is really good. Melvin says, lights, air conditioning, heating, security, benevolent care for the elderly and the disabled needy. Take it easy. Things cost and needs dollars to pay for it. Political parties ask for funds. Yes. On the same, I'd like to expound on what he said, because, you know, the church is a place where sometimes you don't have your rent. You can go they'll pay your rent for you. You don't have your light bill. They'll pay your whole light bill.
On Thanksgiving, they give you turkeys.
Nobody ever says anything about that.
I mean, like where I work, we refer clients sometimes to churches to go look for assistance if they're, you know, looking for help for rent or their utilities and stuff like that. So I just hate how the internet had to put extra sauce on it and say, he said to close and lock the doors. And I'm like, nowhere did he say lock the doors. And
no one said lock the doors, right?
And that just put a extra unnecessary, and that's really what a lot of people just saw. Like, they didn't even really watch the video, or people who actually did watch the video, they just added this extra, well, he said lock and close the doors. He didn't say lock. He never said lock.
Nope.
And that changes a lot because lock, yeah, you might be a kidnapping situation. But he simply said close the doors because safety, money is moving. So if you're at your home church, it's understood. Like in training for usher training, I'm sure, close the doors, we take an offering. So you don't say it. You never hear a pastor say it during a regular service. But that wasn't a regular service. That was at a convention. That was in an open public place. So yeah, you might actually have to say it if they, just for instructional purposes only. But yeah, I didn't like how people added that whole thing.
Yeah.
Lock the doors. He didn't say that.
I do have this note I want to share to make sure we're being fair on all parties. I'm not going to read the whole thing, and I can't because I'm blind as hell. This is a note from Marvin Sapp. He wrote, he said on July 23rd, 2024, Bishop Marvin Sapp, minister. This is from the church that gave the
presiding bishop.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Darius. On July 21st, 2024, Bishop Marvin Sapp ministered at an international, summer conference of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, Inc. At the request of the organization, Bishop Marvin Sapp proceeded in receiving a free will offering that would go up towards. You guys help me out. I can't see it. I can't see it.
Where'd you stop at?
Where'd you stop?
The second sentence.
Okay, I see it. Sapp proceeded in receiving a free will offering that would go towards expenses incurred for this gathering and our organizational operations. Months later, a short clip from our convention has now gone viral and unduly misrepresented not only Bishop Marvin Sapp, but the PAW, that's the name of the church organization, and churches worldwide.
And that's all we can read. We need to read. But yeah, so I did want to read that statement from.
They should have just left that statement and he not even go on any show and left it like that. That's what he should have done. But like Darius said, him going on the show, that just gave people more shit to talk about. So, but he didn't do nothing.
I feel like it was worth it just to get Ashleigh to try to read that first.
Oh my God. I need glasses, real glasses, so bad.
I'm sure Balenciaga can make you some.
Okay, so you guys, let's get
to get that man some glasses.
Right, that's what we need to do. Hey, speaking of, while we're at it, you guys, we're trying to do bigger and better things with our show. If you have a love offering you want to send in, you guys know I don't beg.
Lock the doors.
Lock the doors.
Right now,
you could have showed me some love. Now you can
Right now, I do this all on my own. I do have help from the cast about downloading photos and stuff, but everything's funded by myself, and I do it all. So if you want to help, please feel free to give to one of those. If not, we love you anyway. Moving on to Fashion Files. Let's go. It's 9:12. We have a lot to get
through. They said the church can help get you some glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a program for that.
They said close the door so they can raise the money for your glasses.
Yeah, lock all of them right now. Going on. So starting with Fashion Files, our first look, we have Kenya Moore in Chanel.
Oh.
Yeah. Michael, yay or nay?
Yay.
Darius, yay or nay? Did Darius say yay or nay?
Darius?
Oh, okay, yeah. Marcus, yay or nay?
I'd say yay for me. She looks gorgeous.
Okay, Natasha?
Yay.
Who else do we have? Shaq, yay or nay?
Yeah, she looks pretty.
Okay, moving on. This is Marnie. She's actually Beyonce, one of Beyonce's stylists. She's wearing Ivy Park from head to toe. Michael, yay or nay?
I never liked Marty, but this one's a yay for me.
Okay. Darius?
Nay.
Marcus?
Nay.
Shaq?
No, what's happening? What is that? Is that a coat?
It's a lot. Natasha, yay or nay?
Nay, but she looks real warm. Like if she was in the desert, she'd be straight.
Baby.
This is in them comments. Reading.
Going on, we have Mindy Azuz, and he's wearing Willie Shabiria. Michael, yay or nay?
Horrific. Nay.
Darius?
It's ugly. Nay.
Okay. Shaq?
No.
Natasha?
Just
Nay.
Marcus?
I really don't think so.
Okay. Going on. Who do we have next? We have
Get out.
Even the cat said ugly.
Oh, we have this is Marnie Hadid, and he's wearing Marnie. Michael, yay or nay?
Nay.
Darius?
Nay.
Natasha?
Nay.
Shaq?
No.
Yes.
Marcus?
Yay, I would so wear that.
All right.
Yay.
Me too.
Moving on.
Moving on, we have Sierra and D Squared.
Oh.
Michael, yay or nay?
D Squared's been killing it. Yeah.
Darius?
Yes, motherfucking ma'am.
Natasha?
Yay.
Shaq?
Well, shit, Ashley, you should have led with this.
Marcus?
Them goodies. Yay.
You guys know what this reminds me of? This is kind of a take on
Bob Mackie.
Bob Mackie,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
For
Tamar.
sure.
I'm sorry, I've not been asking Tamar. Tamar,
This is a spinoff of one of Cher's looks for
Yes.
the show that Bob Mackie has created.
The Cher Show, yeah.
Listen,
Tamar, why don't you need to speak up? I can't see you because the picture's over you. I'm sorry.
I'm listening.
Okay. Moving on. So, Tamar, this is Alton Mason. He's wearing this hair. Tamar, is this a yay or nay?
I'm in love with this man. Yes, he looks.
Tamar, I could so see you rocking this.
And would, and I actually have this outfit in my closet.
I know you do.
Michael, yay or nay?
This looks a little Timu to me. Nay.
Here it is.
I don't like it.
Shaq.
I don't know. I think he look kind of cool. I'll go with it.
Natasha.
It's all right. I could see Lenny Kravitz wearing something like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marcus.
So
Melvin said give him a sandwich, but I'm going to say yay.
This is hot.
All right. Moving on. We have Monica. She's wearing Gucci and Acne Studios.
Sonny,
Michael,
stop it.
Michael, yay or nay?
Nay.
Why?
The shoes.
Okay. Darius, yay or nay?
It's Monica, so yeah.
Okay. Shaq.
Yeah, she look like a rich soccer mom. I'm with it.
Tamar.
She must got a lot of brand deals because baby, she be on the list all the time. But she look good. This is giving like old school, like homegirl Monica. Like she looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Natasha.
yeah, that's cute.
And that bust down, honey.
The flyest woman in the car line.
Marcus.
It's a yay for me. I love Monica.
Okay, moving on. We have Britt Edie. She's wearing
Nay.
LaPointe. Michael, yay or nay?
Yeah, I like it.
I love everything LaPointe does.
Yeah.
Darius, yay or nay?
It's beautiful, yes.
Okay, Shaq.
It's yes.
Natasha.
Hey, girl.
I give her a yay on this.
Tamar.
She's the new fashion. She's one of the new fashion girls. Like she's been killing it everywhere.
Yeah, she has.
Who is this person?
Britt Edie.
Britt Edie from
Okay,
Atlanta
well,
Housewives.
okay.
The one that was fighting Kenya.
Oh, yeah, she look good.
Marcus.
You know what? Just because I love Kenya, I'm going to say nay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for the fight. Because ain't nowhere to put the gun.
Going on. We have Jennifer Tilly and Balmain. Marcus. I mean, Michael, yay or nay?
I love this. Yay.
Darius.
Don't do her.
Darius, don't do her.
Don't do her.
Darius.
Don't do my girl.
You just wave my hand.
She's eccentric.
I don't really know what's going on, but she look nice, I guess. Yeah, it's cool.
All right, Natasha.
Yay, she can do no wrong. I love her. That's my girl.
Tamar.
This
Is
is
the outfit sharp?
it's feathers.
Oh.
It's a pink flamingo, and that's sickening. The hair, the jewelry. She's always killing it. Every time you see her, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's been killing it on the show.
I love Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
I love her.
Marcus, yay or nay?
It's a yay. She's eccentric. She's kooky. This is her style, and she does it great.
And she's so rich.
And she,
Oh my
we're not
God,
just
she's got the
rich,
Simpsons money,
rich.
honey. That's
Right.
rich,
She
rich.
is
Yeah.
rich.
She got 3 houses next door to each other.
Okay, here we go. Moving on, we have Shinto Sabato and Sohee. Michael,
Konnichiwa.
yay or nay?
Nay.
Okay, Darius.
I kind of like this because of the train.
Yeah, the train's sickening. Marcus.
I'm gonna go with the name.
Okay, Natasha.
Nay, the gloves at top made it so harsh with the black.
All right, Shaq.
I think it's pretty.
All right, Tamar.
Yeah.
I'm getting married in this, so y'all get ready. I'm getting married. Again.
Yes.
And
Yes.
You know, I can see Karen Parshir wearing this.
yes, the finger waves in her hair is so pretty too. Like she looks amazing.
Okay, moving on. We have Megan Trainor. She's wearing Prada. Michael, yay or nay?
Yay.
All right. Darius.
I don't know because she just like show her way to the wake, but
Marcus,
I'll
yay
say
or
no.
nay?
I don't like it
Okay.
either. It's giving funeral realness.
Okay, let's get through these. Natasha, yay or nay?
Nay.
Tamar?
Yay.
All right. Moving on. We have, did I miss anybody?
Oh, you can miss me. I don't even know how I feel.
Okay. I have Ikram and Valentino.
Ooh.
Michael,
love
yay
that.
or nay?
Yay.
Darius?
yeah.
Tamar?
Yay.
Shaq?
I think Pepto Bismol has never looked so good.
Natasha?
Yay.
Marcus?
Yay.
Okay, going on. We have, who is this? Hold on, let me get my notes. We have Tanner Adele, and she's wearing Eric Charlotte. Michael, yay or nay?
Nay.
Darius?
Nay.
Shaq?
I had to put my glasses on. I still don't know what I think.
All right, Natasha?
Nay.
Tamar?
I love the look. I just wish the hair was doing something different. But
Okay.
the dress is everything.
Marcus?
So is that a yay or nay?
50-50.
I got nay.
It's on the bottom better than the one on the top.
Okay.
It's a nay for me.
And for our last 3 looks, this is the same person, and she killed it. Like, she's been killing it consistently. I don't know if she got a new stylist or what, but JT has become a fashion girl.
Since she started hanging out with that lady.
She's wearing Rick Owens in this picture. She's wearing Coach in this picture. And she's wearing Jean-Paul Gaultier in this one. And they're just killing it from look to look. So I want to give her a shout out this week. I'm not going to go through every look, but I think she's been doing some really good stuff. And let's end tonight with come and sit on my couch. This is a chance when our guests can write in or call in or whatever they want to do and have. They want to ask us a question on relationship or whatever it is and see what our opinion is. And so we have 2 questions this week. The first question is, are you cool with your significant other liking or hearting salacious content of others on social media?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Who cares? What is this, 1927? Like, if you're not secure with yourself and you get worried about your man liking or like hearting another fucking picture, you need to check your relationship. Now, if they're in the DM doing some other type of shit, then that's different. But if you're just fucking scrolling and liking, then yeah, who gives a fuck?
Hell, I might like it from his phone for him.
Yeah.
Damn, she gotta ask. Let me like that for you.
Yeah, I mean, you can be together and in love, but we're not blind or dead.
Right. Okay. I agree. Yeah. Is there somebody who says different?
I'll take the other side of this one, actually. Yeah, and it's not for the reason you might think. It's not, like a jealousy thing or anything else. I just think it's a little tacky, to be honest with you. You get to a certain age and it's like, do you really want someone to know at 40 years old that you're liking like someone's ex porn, the free version they don't put on their OnlyFans. Like, it's embarrassing to me, and I would be embarrassed, if my partner.
Oh, you're talking about OnlyFans people. I'm sorry, but who cares if it's OnlyFans or XXX or LMNOP? They like the picture.
That's an anonymous account for your OnlyFans.
I would rather them decide in the DMs. At least nobody knows that you like it that way.
I thought we were just talking about the booty pics.
Yeah, we're just talking. No, Michael.
About content in general. On all
I mean,
I date women, and in my experience, it is better to leave that stuff alone when you are dating women. Women can get complexes. I've not had a good experience with, liking things online.
Because you're dating women with low self-esteem.
And sometimes that's it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you get turned up about someone liking a video on OnlyFans that's free, or like fucking like a picture on Instagram of someone like booty or like their titty. Come on, like, what is the big deal? Now, if they're writing them and saying, hey, I liked your titties, let's meet up at the XYZ, then yeah, that's pushing it. But again, when you put someone in like that box and try to confine them, they're going to like even more pictures. They're going to even go the extra mile. Like, why even go through all that? They're just liking pictures.
Let me give you part B. Let me give you part B to this. The person that I was chatting with said the only reason why they had a problem with it because their significant other had all the time in the world to like other people's stuff, but they never seen them like any of their stuff.
Oh,
that's a whole new issue.
Now the plot thickens.
Yeah, they might need
that person's shady as fuck. They need to. They shouldn't be liking other people's posts and not theirs. That's not cool.
The disgust on Michael's face.
That's not cool.
At least if you gonna be liking another bitch shit like mine too.
That's not cool. You can't be liking every bitch's picture in the fucking Instagram land, and then I post a picture of me and my niece, and you ain't liking that shit? Bitch, we're having problems.
Let me tell you, when I'm in relationships, I have very limited contact with social media because
yeah, that's not right. That's let him go, dump him. He's cheating on you. That ain't right. You need to.
He's cheating on you.
Yeah, that ain't right.
mean,
You can't go
again,
like everybody. You can't be liking other people's pictures, and he ain't even like not one of your pictures, baby. You gotta go.
Well, see,
all right.
I can understand where insecurity could creep in because then it becomes a thing. Okay, you like it, but are you going beyond that like?
Yeah, but I mean, the whole thing is you're liking every single picture online, and I'm on the feed, and you're skipping mine. Yeah. Something ain't right. Something ain't making sense. Yeah, 2 + 2 ain't 4 in this scenario.
All right. Well, thank you guys for chiming in on that. And our second question is,
everybody needs to stay on social media in their relationships. How about that?
Is friendship based on how often you communicate?
No, absolutely not. Friendship's about when you're with that person and they make you feel like you can talk to them about anything. They give you like a real friendship. You can talk to them a year from now and you still get that exact same feeling because that's what real friends do. You don't have to talk every day. You have your friends that you talk to every day and you kiki with, but your friends, they make you feel some type of way that other people don't, and that's what real friendship is. So no, you don't have to communicate every day.
We're grown.
We got lives.
That's this new social media thing where if you don't come check on me, then I know who's real and who's not, and you ain't my friend. And that is the stupidest thing to me because even in the thick of my life, when I've had some of my lowest points, and I had some friends that I hadn't heard from in a while, my immediate thought was, this person must have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when I actually talked to that person, they had some equally messed up stuff going on. And so at that point, all you can do is catch up and give each other your thoughts and love. When you finally do catch up, y'all get back to y'all individual lives, and then you catch up again when you can, because life is out here whooping everybody's ass. It's not just whooping yours. It's not just whooping your mom's. It's not just whooping your sisters. It's whooping everybody's ass out here in one way or another. And we all need to be sympathetic to that.
Show some grace to each other.
Show some grace to each other. You are not the only person going through shit. You're not. You're not. So everybody does not have the bandwidth to show up for you the way you think that they should when they can barely show up for themselves. That is stupidest thing. That's one of the stupidest things that pisses me off so much with this new way social media stuff. That if you ain't checking on me, we ain't friends.
Yeah,
You
I've seen those.
to be a friend to yourself first, because clearly you are quite a needy ass friend. If you need somebody to check up on you all the time, are you checking up on that friend? If you need somebody to check up on you all the time, they have therapists for that. Your therapist will make an appointment for you as often as you need to, as often as you can pay for it. They will go ahead and check up on you whenever you need to. Your friends don't have to have the capacity and bandwidth to be there for you all the time whenever you think that they should.
We ain't got no bomb song or something. We need one of those.
Yeah, we need some sound effects. You ate that. You ate that.
A lot of issues. Me and my best friend, we might go weeks without
Right.
talking, but when we connect, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had a friend or two who fell out with me because we didn't have regular contact. And, you know, I had to allow that to happen. Because, and it's not that I didn't care about those people or love those people. It was just that things changed in my life, and my life changed, and I just didn't have that to give them. But it was something that they felt that they needed and required, and that's okay. They needed to find friends that worked for them. And one of the things as I got older and became a mom and everything is I realized that I had to allow people who wanted to leave because I don't have it, and you're not finna get it. And I stopped taking it personal. Do what you need to do for you. But I gotta tell you, there's something real beautiful about a friend that when you finally do call, they just go, "Damn girl, where you been?" And not because like I can tell you where I've been. That's why I'm calling.
And you know what? And the thing about those type of friendships is you never doubt them. You never question it. It's just always, it's like, it's amazing. And it's a blessing because a lot of people don't have friends like that. So if you do have friends like that, people keep them. You know, fight for them because those friends don't come along often. So keep them and love them. And my cat is on the show tonight. Sorry.
Well, you guys, we had a great show tonight. We got a lot to get through. Some stuff we didn't get to, but that's life. So please like and share. Again, like and share. We're not asking. Well, we were asking for money.
Lock the doors.
Liking and sharing is free. So we love you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Damn.
Hey, kitty.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway,
Sonny, get out.
Peace. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.